Hey, what's up, guys? How are you? Welcome back. It's me, your boy Hebot, coming at you with a quick video or another video per se. Uh, Trying to get myself together. Been going through some stuff. I was in the hospital. You guys can see the little thing. Yes, I have it on. Checking myself out, but hopefully, everything will get better soon. Just bear with your boy, like I said. That's why you haven't seen me too much. I've just been going through some things that I gotta obviously take care of. I want to talk about today about the future of consoles, games, and gaming versus PC, and some other stuff that came out, like that it was finally confirmed that Black Myth Wukong was indeed under a contract, and that's why we haven't seen it as of yet on Xbox. And it had nothing to do with the inability of the Xbox Series S, which we all know was, a bunch of horse malarkey, right? And, the fact that we got some numbers with Xbox games that have gone to PlayStation that actually prove that Microsoft doesn't need Sony, and that PlayStation gamers really don't buy games the way they claim they do, or that they say that certain games have to be on their platform because that's where they will do well, which also prove it's not true. So, welcome back, guys. All right, give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't like a video. Leave a comment down below, and if you be so kind, share the video with someone you think might like it, because it'll help me go a long way and help my channel grow, of course. Guys, so we'll start with the whole Black Myth Wukong. Yesterday or a couple of days ago, it came out where there was an interview done with Phil Rosenberg, senior VP. I don't know if he was the guy speaking on behalf of Sony or he was the guy giving the interview. I don't remember exactly, but I know that it was done and it came out, and pretty much in that conversation, in that article, he speaks about how certain people within Sony that do basically, scouting, right, for good games, or games that are, up and coming, that are perhaps smaller or from a smaller studio, and to bring it to the ecosystem of PlayStation. And then, he mentioned a partnership with Annapurna, which is a publisher, and how they started with them with something like Stray, right? Which we all know Stray came to Xbox eventually, and it has a physical copy, which is great. And he also mentioned Genshin Impact, which was out off of Xbox for like 6 years, almost 5, and finally came over. And then he mentioned Stellar Blade and Black Myth Wukong, which we all know that Stellar Blade and both Black Myth Wukong were originally scheduled to be releasing simultaneously on Xbox and PlayStation, right? And the funny thing about it, and why I really wanted to bring it up, is because no one's talking about it. No one within the media, people that quickly go and do massive amounts of reviews and do massive amounts of videos. If it's an influencer, such as MBG, Reforged Gaming, or Dreamcast Guy, for example, right? Talking about negative Xbox press or news. And yet, in this case, everybody's playing the blind eye or the blind ear like it doesn't exist, right? So, and that's really funny because, again, it was finally confirmed, right? It wasn't insinuated, because they try to read it off as, an insinuation that implicates that maybe, perhaps. There's no maybe, there's no perhaps, there's no if, there's no ands, there's no buts. It was confirmed that that's what they did. They did some type of agreement and partnership, and that is why you don't see Black Myth Wukong. And all that rhetoric that Game Science was doing, talking about that they're not really experienced developing games on certain hardware, that they need more practice and more experience, or that the S wasn't capable because it didn't have enough VRAM, when there's a lot of people out there that did their own testing, even with a Rogue Ally portable. A gentleman named Turk, I believe, I've seen his videos, where he showed that is 100% capable of running on a Rogue Ally, mind you. You think it's not going to be able to run on a Series X or a Series S, rather? So, it just goes to show you, right, that even developers are a bunch of liars at some point. And I say liars because there's also proof when they came out and said one of the people internally that worked at GameStop also came out and said, who wants an Xbox? When they asked, well, why didn't you bring Wukong to Xbox consoles at one point? And they said something so ludicrous, so disingenuous and unprofessional, to be honest, in Twitter or on Twitter, social media, something that you can't hide from that. You can always come back and find, and it's basically a live receipt that can compromise you in many ways. And they try to retract it and said that no one said that when it was put out there, right? And as the saying goes, where there's smoke, there's always fire. So now you see that it was confirmed. So now we know that it was all a bunch of bullcrap, horse malarkey. And the sad part is that, like I said, no one's calling it out. No one's saying anything. No IGNs, no Kotakus, no Push Square, no Digital Foundry, nobody, right? Nobody that usually, like I said, comes out and starts with their pitchforks about, oh, well, Xbox did this or Xbox did so-and-so, which is very different from what Xbox has done in the past, because Microsoft, clearly, when they helped in the case of, like, let's say, Tomb Raider, it was because Tomb Raider wasn't going to be made. It was confirmed by, right, at the time, Crystal Dynamics and Eidos, that they were going to try to do it episodic because, according to them, even though it sold over 10 million copies within both platforms, that the Tomb Raider remake that came out on 360, that was later re-released for the Xbox One and PS4, didn't sell enough. It didn't sell well based on what they spent, which at that time and at that point, Cory Ballard, that helmed the God of War for PlayStation, was actually working with them, and he had pitched the idea of making Tomb Raider that it will be seamlessly without any loading time, like he did and implemented on God of War, the new one. And they had turned him down, according to what he said, because they didn't think it would work, right? And we all know that the Tomb Raider remaster or reboot that came out on 360, right, and PS4 and PS3 was a really fantastic game. And the sequel was even much better, right? Which was obviously done by Microsoft, where they published and funded the game because they were trying to combat Sony with that holiday season when they confirmed that they were bringing out Uncharted 4. And then after they made the announcement during not Gamescom. Yeah, I think it was Gamescom in Germany, right? I guess Sony was trying to be funny, or maybe they didn't expect any delays, and basically made Microsoft look bad because they announced that Uncharted was going to be pushed for the following year in April for April release, and then Microsoft had the Tomb Raider for the holidays, and that's why they started getting pressured and kept on getting questioned by everybody, meaning the developers of Tomb Raider at the time and the publisher, right, which was Crystal Dynamics, about if it was coming to PlayStation in the future, that how dare they, because that is a PlayStation known IP, that it belongs everywhere, blah, blah, blah. Well, you even have Ryan McCaffrey questioning the idea and saying something ignorant when he's supposed to be an Xbox guy. And just goes to show you that many of them, even though they may be in a bigger position in the gaming industry, really are not well informed, right? So then that's when they actually, finally after like, I think it was a month, they confirmed, yes, it's coming to PC. And then after a few more months, then they said, yes, it's coming to PlayStation, because I guess they got tired of next year. They got tired of, asking and of the harassment of getting asked. So then, obviously it turned out that it was a year exclusive, but Microsoft helped them literally develop the game and publish and all that stuff and put all the money to it, which is completely different because they did it to help them get it out and get it made. It wasn't to just for the sake of money hatting, for example, right? Same thing they did with Titanfall. Same thing they did with, Dead Rising 4 or 3, rather, where the Dead Rising wasn't even going to be made. And they fully funded it as well. And that's why it's still, to this day, exclusive only on the Xbox platform and obviously PC and not on PlayStation. So, it's just ironic and so funny how nobody's calling out. And that's why I said that this community, especially with the gaming media and these so-called influencers that are, quote unquote, we're critiquing Xbox because we want them to do better, it's all a fallacy. It's all disingenuous. It's not true. It's not real. It's just a facade, a cap, because they want to make money. And they know that hating Xbox and creating fake rhetoric towards Xbox brings them in that, influx of money. So moving along to the next topic, I had a nice time with Unlimited. Shout outs to him with the Unlimited Truth yesterday. A brief one, or a impromptu, if you will. And it was also put out by a publication that, deals with money and data, sales with companies and things of that nature. And we find out exactly what we've been saying and what we knew all this time, that basically none of those games from Pentiment, Grounded, Hi-Fi Rush, and obviously Sea of Thieves that came out, that were released on PlayStation, have made no kind of money on PlayStation. On, I believe, Pentiment made or sold 14,000 units. And remember, that game is a $20 game with the option, if you buy a deluxe version, to be $30. Grounded is another $29.99 or $30 or $40 game, I believe, with the deluxe edition. Only sold 400 and I think was 34 or 76,000 units in that realm, which is very, very low and really no profit whatsoever. Hi-Fi Rush, which was another, $40 game or $30 game, right, with an upgrade deluxe of 30 or 40, only sold 137,000 units. Keeping in mind that on Xbox it had 2.4 million players. And even if it didn't sell 2.4 million, because it was being played on Game Pass as well, there's going to be way more than 137,000 copies sold. Okay? Way more. Those players weren't just playing on Game Pass. Right? And then obviously, we also had and found out that Sea of Thieves sold 1.8 million. 1.8 million copies. When on Xbox, and between Xbox and PC, it concurrently had over 44 million players. Which you guys all remember, Sea of Thieves didn't start on Game Pass either. It came after the fact. So it had a big number of people already that bought the game. So you can't say it wasn't sales. And the best part about it is that these were sales numbers on Xbox with a very lesser install base. With a much lesser install base. Right? An install base that was much less than the PlayStation 4 and obviously now PS5. Right? And it just does go to show you guys that have been claiming all this time Microsoft needs PlayStation. That's why they're putting their games there, because they need them. We need them because the games don't sell. Xbox guys don't buy games. It's all a lie. And we've been told you this. We've been told you this. I know for a fact I've multiple times I put up all the games I buy. And I say anybody that's a real PlayStation fan that claims they buy games, put up your collection, compare it to mine. Let's see. I put up my digital library and a bunch of my games, and all I ever see is crickets when it comes to that. When I put up my stuff, no one shows nothing. No PC gamers either. They just talk. Xbox guys don't buy games, but PlayStation guys do, right? And even with Nintendo, because Nintendo, what sells is only their first-party IPs. Anything else that's third-party, like like the Ultimate Alliance 3, Astro Chain, and the other one, Bayonetta 3, for example, they didn't sell. Games like that are more third-party did not sell at all. They were failures. So don't, come with that argument. Oh, yeah, the Nintendo sells. No. Nintendo only sells to their audience that like their games because they're conditioned. And also keeping in mind that most of their audience, about 50% or maybe 60%, is also young kids that play Mario's, that play the Mario parties, the karts, that were the actual audience that play games like, right, on their Nintendo system, like, sorry about that. I had to kind of pause real quick. Basically, like I said, knowing that the sales are now what they are, and we know that it's been confirmed, right? You don't see nobody talking about it as well. No one's saying anything. And that's what I'm talking about. I don't understand how people call themselves real Xbox fans or channels, and yet they're not talking about it. The only people you'll see say something about it may be somebody like, 100 or, perhaps Legal and Unlimited and, my brother Sega Man and Sega Forever. But other than that, no, you don't see nobody doing it. And you don't see the ponies either, like MBGs, like the Reforge or the Dreamcast guys saying something about, well, now we know the truth. All that talk, yeah, the PlayStation guy's going to buy games. That the games are only going to do well if they're on PlayStation. Games like Hi-Fi Rush and Hellblade 2, they belong on PlayStation. When that's a complete fallacy. It's a lie. CFTs, oh my God, has done better than even than people expected. And that just shows me that it's good, because then that'll show Microsoft that is it really worth it for them to put games on PlayStation? The reality is it's not. It's not. They probably spend more money porting over Grounded, Pentiment, and Hi-Fi Rush combined. Spend way more money than what they even scratched the surface with the sales. So why bother? What's the point? I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to convince PlayStation people that are stubborn and don't want to go on an Xbox, hey, give us a chance. These are our games. We got good games. We got diverse games. Maybe you'll could invest in Xbox too and have a good time. I mean, we're not telling you to change your whole library, but at least you can buy an Xbox to buy certain games and play them on Game Pass. And you can save yourself some money and buy the games that you have on your preferred platform with cash that you save from buying games and playing games on Game Pass on Xbox. I know that's what they're doing. They're riding it out because they know the sales just not there or not doing as well as they wanted to, right? They're selling, but not as well as they wanted to, right? So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to convince them. It's almost like a person that does drugs and goes to a dealer, and the dealer sees that they're a new customer, and they'll give them a free sample, right? So that they can get them hooked. And once they see that the product is really good, they know they got them on the hook, and that person's going to keep coming. That addict, that user is going to keep coming to get the product, get that drug to, and they'll make profit off of it eventually. That is the mindset that Microsoft is doing. I know that's what it is. Plus, more than likely, because if they do any future moves and acquisitions with any other studios or developer, publisher, or even a game in particular, that will protect them and no one can bother them as far as the FTC, right? So I'm glad that those numbers came out, that Microsoft will see it with their own eyes so that they can be more particular in what they release in the future, or if they should continue in the future, because it's really not worth it. And I'm telling you right now, those numbers for Forza and for the upcoming Indiana Jones, they might not even be high. It might be the same result. I mean, they're in the top chart, but that could mean that they sold maybe 50,000, maybe 10,000 for this month coming up when it releases. It could be maybe 100,000. We don't know. The point is that the numbers will come out, and we're going to know for sure when they come out after a few months if it sold, or if it didn't, how many numbers came out or how many units it sold. And that way we're going to know the truth. The truth will always set everyone free. And I guarantee you, mark my words, the numbers are going to be as big or as high as people are alluding to with the, oh my God, they're killing it over there with Forza sales and Indiana Jones and whatever. And the truth is, the only reason they're trying to do that, PlayStation guys, with the bigger AAA games, is because in their mind, the way they work with their console warring is, if we keep buying Xbox games, Microsoft will see that they can make money over here more than over there, and they'll put all their games on PlayStation. That is what they're betting on, PlayStation fanaticos that are actually buying the games. That's what they're betting on. That's it. And that's why you see them, that right now they're in the number 1 and number 2 spot in the PlayStation Store. So moving on to the last topic that I had in hand, and I'll try not to be too long because I know the video is already running about 25, 23, 22 minutes, whatever. The future of gaming, I don't know why people keep saying that it's going to stop and that consoles are going to end and it's going to be all PC. That's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. I'm telling you with no doubt in my mind that's ever going to happen. No doubt. And I don't mean in a disrespectful way to anybody that does think so or thinks otherwise. Shout outs to, Gangster, and people like VG Fight Club, right? Yes, there's going to be a total difference in shift in how gaming is being played. There's going to be more of a unified ecosystem between PC and Xbox console for sure. I think it'll just be a healthier environment for both PC gamers and console gamers. Yes, I do believe that. And I think it'll be a more fair one, right? Because for a long time, PC gamers can access their stuff in their store, but yet they also have Game Pass and they can access stuff that are on Xbox, or games that are played on Xbox that are released also come out, right? Or games from like PlayStation, whatever, or what have you. So I think it would be only fair that a console gamer can hold access or get access to their PC library of games on the console if that's what they choose to do. Because Steam accounts also work with your phone, tablet, and a laptop. It's not like a lot of people have Steam accounts, like my son, And he don't even play on computer. He plays on his fucking phone. He play on his tablet. He don't play on a computer, right? Even though the reality is that all those devices have some type of structure like a PC as well, right? In the hardware spec, as far as the hardware, right? And the reason why I'm telling you that consoles are not going nowhere, right? And the real part of the whole situation that we need to be worrying about is that the consoles don't get away from physical, 100% away from it. Because although physical media is only about 12 or 10% of what is being sold, or even if it's 9 or 8%, that 9 or 8%, we're talking about still at least 13 million people, or at least 15 to 20 million people. If you look at the numbers as a whole, right? That's still a big amount. You could go, the data has been released on that as well, about physical media, how much it still sells, and how much it makes. And it still sells in a lot of ways more than digital in a lot of ways. All that data has came out and has been put out. It's all public record, right? So it still sells well enough that it should coexist. And there's no reason for it not to coexist, right? Other than convenience of space in your home. But a console is never going to go away, because no matter how much and how much more, ease of access a PC will be or can get, the best and easiest way to play games will always be on a plug-and-play device or box, which is a console. Just like the idea of, why would anyone in their right mind that establish a big library on a console, like an Xbox, for example, in this case, move to a PC when you can't access all your games the way you could on that console? It's the same idea. It's the same concept if you built your library on a PC and then try to go to a console to play there as well. You're never going to do that because you have more access to your stuff on PC than you do. And everybody, oh yeah, the PC market is moving, it's growing. Yes, the PC market has been moving and growing. But the main reason is because this is the era, and it's been like this for a few years now, where everybody is on YouTube and in the streaming and Twitch scene, especially a lot of the younger kids playing now. So they like playing and streaming and doing videos that have more options of editing and doing things like special effects and whatever they want to do with green screens or whatnot for their streams and for their videos and for their Twitch streams. On a PC is much easier. That's where it's more accessible because of the options. So that is why PC has grown. It's not because it's better to play on a PC or much more convenient, because that's not the case. Any regular, casual Joe Schmo, like a single mom, a grandparent, an uncle, a brother or sister buying for a little niece or nephew, for example, they're not going to go to a store and be like, yeah, I'm going to spend $800 or $900 on an already pre-built PC, right? Or $1,000, or build their own PC that could come out way cheaper but still have a lot of power, and maybe pay, end up paying like $2,300 instead of $5,000, right? With the right specs, memories, card, chassis, cooling system, whatever the hell, graphic card, sound card, and all of the above, and so they could pay much less. They're still not going to go to a store, regular store, to be like, I want to buy this for my child. No, they'll buy a tablet because a tablet is more accessible and easier to use, maybe, but they're going to pick a console because the only job and dedication of a console is to play games. Yes, now you can watch movies through apps. You can do videos through it, right? capture videos to put them and upload on YouTube, all that good stuff. But the primary job of a console is always going to be to play games first. You plug, you play, install, it does it all for you. It chooses all the drivers, all the installs you need. You have to worry about nothing. No headaches, no nothing. If you overclock one thing in one area, or if you overclock one thing in another area, if you have the right cooling system, if you have the right chassis, which is the box or tower, or for whatever the PC build, if you have the right memory card that's compatible with this graphic card or this audio card, it's all there for you underneath one hood. And most people, about, let's say 75%, right, are going to rather have the ease of access and just plug and play. And if that wasn't the case, then the Switch wouldn't be doing well. And you can't say, oh, it's because the Switch have all the exclusives, you can't play them on PC, because that's a lie, because the PC has a Switch emulator and you can play all the games. I know, my son has it and I've seen it and I played them. Okay? I've played the games on his PC and they run a million times better than the Switch. A Switch is it has a processor of a fucking phone from like 30 years ago or 20 years ago. Okay? So, yes, it runs on a PC through emulation. You can do that. Right? So that's not an argument. If you want to counter, say what I'm saying. No. Switch will sell because it's a plug and play, and a parent is gonna want to use or pay only a specific amount for their child to get what they want as far as entertainment, and not have to worry about that they spend all this money and the child can break it, because a child that does not know how to use a PC is more prone to mess it up, fry it all up, and mess it up because they don't know what they're doing, and because it's a lot more technical. And you need to know. You have to be PC savvy. Okay? And I know that now in school they teach you more than they did us in our generation. But still, they don't teach enough, and not all kids are in school learning or apprehending what's being told to them and actually educating themselves. A lot of kids have a hard time learning this stuff. Right? So, again, the ease of access and the ability to have all your games with you, the ability to have forward compatibility with peripherals, the ability to have features that you can't even get on a PC, like smart delivery or boost mode, right? Or even, the ability to have beautiful and wonderful technology like Dolby Atmos Surround and Dolby Vision HDR, that on a PC is going to cost you much more, because you have to make sure those cards that you get, or the graphic card, sound card, are compatible, that are, running that type of tech, and it's much more expensive, right? On a console that you only pay $500, but the reality is you really pay $3, because you trade in your old console, put it towards that new console, and you'll only pay $300, which is another thing that you can't do with PC. You can't just go in anywhere and trade in another PC with another one to put it towards a new one. You more than likely have to sell it in your aftermarket, in parts, or if you buy into a program in a place like, let's say, Circuit City, or not Circuit City, but CompUSA, whatever the heck it's called, right? And you buy a program that they have, like, oh, you get this, you can keep the computer you'll have the insurance for 4 years, 5 years, and you bring in your old one, trade it in, and then you can get it and put it towards a new one. You have to buy into it. You have to pay cash. You don't pay cash to trade in a console in GameStop or even at Walmart or Best Buys, right? You don't do that. You just trade it in with the proposition that they're giving you and the value they're giving you, and then you pay for the other one. That's it. You're not committed to keep on renewing, because then when those places like that, Micro Center, right? You pay for it, but once you get the new computer, you got to repay for it again to get it for another extension for another 4 or 5 years. Okay? That's a caveat that nobody wants to do. And it comes out expensive long term, right? Way more expensive than a console. This can't be argued. Plus the fact that a console has things that you can do, like get it through Xbox All Access, for example, and you can get the console, literally take it home, pay it monthly for 2 years with Game Pass, with online, and you don't pay no interest whatsoever, not an extra dime. You just pay it off in the time they give you. Now, if you don't pay it off in the time that they give you, then at that moment, what you call it, you have to pay the interest. But before that, no. So the ease of console, because again, a PC is not made to play games. A PC first purpose is to be used as a tool for whatever it may be, whether it's school, work, to run, all types of facilities. But yes, you can also build it to play games, because that's a bonus that you get as well. But like I said, it comes with the caveat, and it comes with the nuances, right? The nuisance of all these other things that you need to do in order to be able to use it. In order for you to be able to use it, all the nuances are, unless you're PC savvy, right? You're not going to feel comfortable. And I hate when I see PC people speak on these things, trying to compare a console gamer to a PC gamer like it's nothing, because they are so already PC inclined to play on a PC because they're PC savvy. They know how to do it. So for them, it's already like second nature. And then they make it seem like, oh, no, it's not going to be hard. No, it is. It takes time. You have to learn, and you have to nurture it. It takes time for you to learn how to perfect in using a PC. And that is just the fact. That's the truth. You can sit there all you want and try to, no. It's not. Oh, yes, it is. It's not easy. It's very difficult. And it takes a lot of time to learn, months and months and months, even sometimes years, depending on the person, to figure it all out. When you can just get a console, plug it in, play it, and the console does everything for you. It's that simple. So, no, console gaming is not going to go anywhere. Console gaming is what maintains the structure of companies like Xbox and PlayStation more than anything. With all those, subscriptions of Game Pass. Because, PC Game Pass and Xbox, console, Game Pass on console are counted together, but what's different, because the PCs with the PC Game Pass, and then you have Xbox, which is the console. That's what's sustaining them, right? Clearly. Plus whatever is being bought or purchased, and then forward compatibility with peripherals, like I said, which you can't even do that on a PC. You can buy something that you can move it forward and play it on the other console or on their other PC they buy, unless it's compatible, unless you find the right drivers, or unless it's, something new that they made that you can find an old driver to work on the new thing. So again, it has all these nuances and nuisance that you have to deal with. The console, you just plug it in, it reads it, and it works with peripherals as well. So I don't feel and think that no one should be worried about if PC is going to take over and consoles going somewhere, because it's not. I'm telling you, it's not. It's not going to happen. The ease and comfortability of a console is never going to go away. And most people don't care about, I want specs, I want this to run at this highest form. Most people just care about playing good games. They don't care if they're 30 frames. They don't care if they're 720p, 1080p. And again, the Switch proves that, because Switch sales are extremely high, and that shows you that they're playing at the lowest quality and they don't care. Most casual gamers do not care. A lot of hardcore gamers do not care. That's just a small spectrum of people that care about specs and games together. It's a very small percentage, maybe 15, maybe 10% at most. The rest, they just don't care. So let me know what you guys think. What my thoughts down below. I already went long-winded enough. It was 40 minutes long. I apologize. Just wanted to talk about all those topics. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think. Like I said, if you give me a thumbs up if you like the video, give me a thumbs down. If you didn't like the video, share the video with someone you think might like it. For all you that continue to come to my channel and support me, thank you. Because without you, I would not still be here. And I love you with the kindness of my heart. And I'm completely humbled and appreciative because you guys mean the world to me. I appreciate everything you've done for me. If you're new to the channel and like what I'm doing, hey, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you liked it enough that you will continue to stop by when I do put up videos. I know I don't do them a lot, but when I do. And I hope that, that if you subscribe, it's, I appreciate you even more. But just remember, if you did, I consider you now part of my family. Guys, you can find me on any social media outlet. It's all down in the description below. You can hit me up on DMs if you want to help me by donating anything to the channel. Or anything you might want to see me highlight in any way, shape, or form. It's all down in the description below. And if you want to help the channel directly, financially, to help me grow the channel more with better products, better reviews, whatever the case may be, there is a way you can help me. It's not mandatory. It's not obligated. It's if you want to from the kindness of your heart. And that's basically through a Patreon and my PayPal information, which is also down in the description below. This is your boy Hebot, signing off. Keep me in your prayers, guys. I really need them. Please, I really would appreciate it. And remember, Xbox for life, like a sickness that can't be cured. That's my saying. That's my slogan. Don't get triggered, people. It's just in gaming. It's just in good fun. Until the next one, guys. Peace.